Hi there, everyone. It is currently the 8th of September 2015. Tropical storm Etau still pulling off here towards the north. We have that actually expected to move right over Japan throughout the day on a Wednesday. Also, Kilo back here towards the east. That is our typhoon, which migrated from the central Pacific. Remember, this was back towards Hawaii about 2 weeks ago. But really, the bulk of this update, we of course are going to talk about this tropical storm because it is coming near a highly populated area out here in central Japan. You have to remember you have Nagoya, Japan's third largest city right here. Also, we have Yokohama, the second largest, and of course Tokyo right there. And there's our storm. And it's tracking off right like that. The big thing with this storm, though, is out ahead of it, we are already seeing the bulk of the rainfall because this is really getting enhanced by that stationary boundary, which was really dominating much of Japan for the past week now. And you can see it. Watch this extend over parts of Hokkaido down through Honshu over Shikoku, and then it's just towards the south of Okinawa. Why it's a little bit cooler out there today, and then just towards the south of Taiwan. That is our Shirin front. That's what we call it out here throughout the fall season. This sometimes sets up this season quite stronger than normal. That's why there's so much rain over the country. Thing with this front, it is supported by the upper level jet, and that's why we have these very high winds just shearing a lot of that cloud cover off towards the northeast. But on the other hand, it is causing it to really spread out its energy across much of Japan. That is causing problems. Evacuation advisories already issued around Shizuoka. I expect that to continue to cascade farther inland as this approaches. But one unfortunate side effect of this is that it's kind of like if you blow on a fire, at first, once you start to blow on it, it kind of erupts a little bit before getting blown out completely. That's kind of what we are seeing with this storm system. Why, when we zoom in on satellite imagery, you can see kind of an eye formed up here for a short period of time before it collapsed, and then a lot of the cloud cover really got sheared off along the western periphery with giant inflow rolling around. That's actually why Fukuoka over towards Kagoshima, you're seeing sunny skies and temperatures into the 30s today, because the west side of the storm is very dry and very warm, and that's circulating into this and really is going to cause it not to be a full-fledged tropical system likely at landfall, and definitely not a typhoon. So good news if you were worried about that. Coastal areas are going to see winds definitely gusting up to 100 kilometers per hour, maybe even over that, and that's why I put on the forecast for Nagoya actually about 50 to 60 gusting to 100 kph, specifically through Wednesday late morning into the early afternoon hours. But one of the other big threats with this storm is not going to be the wind, of course. We've already been seeing the heavy rainfall out ahead of this. You just had that big long trough extending over most of Japan. So some locations, you're going to be looking up to about 400 maybe 500 millimeters of precipitation. Could even be higher than that there around Shizuoka and even extending over towards parts of the Kanto Plain. No, there's those of you that always ask, well, what does that exactly mean? It basically means throughout the rest of Tuesday and the Wednesday, we're going to continue to see the rainfall. When you get an abundance of rain on top of saturated grounds, it really results in that threat of some flooding, especially in the low-lying river areas where all this water is going to kind of pool into, but also landslides, especially here across parts of the Kinki region extending over towards Shizuoka and even somewhat into the Kanto Plain. I mean, last year we had typhoons hit Yokohama and we had landslides reported in some of the hills just around the Kanagawa area. So that threat is really going to be there throughout the day on Wednesday as this does come on shore right over Nagoya. I mean, Nagoya is definitely going to be impacted by this, or at the very least over towards Shizuoka. I think Osaka is going to miss the worst of this now, but it definitely back here towards the east and also over towards Yokosuka. I mean, you're going to be seeing winds gusting upwards at least of tropical storm strength, possibly even higher. As this does move ahead into Thursday, though, our storm will move over the country, but we still have that kind of training effect following in behind it. So Tokyo, even on Thursday, you're still expecting those showers before things finally start to clear up as we go ahead into Friday. By the way, that's Kilo, just towards the east. You may be thinking, whoa, Robert, why aren't you mentioning that? Kilo is going to pull off towards the north, possibly impact maybe the eastern coastline of Hokkaido as the extra tropical system, but for the big threat with this one is going to be the large waves. But as far as Nemuro it goes, that's this city basically along the eastern portions of Hokkaido. They get worse storms than this in the winter. They get like crazy storm surge actually across some of these areas. So Much to worry about, at least at this point. As far as Etau, though, really, right now, 45 gusts in the 65 knots. If you are in Nagoya, Shizuoka, across coastal areas of Chiba and Kanagawa, you really just be ready on Wednesday at the very least for the possibility of a very slow commute. Japan does not stop. Even these evacuation advisories that have been issued out here, it's still, everything keeps on going, but the trains do slow down. And especially some of the coastal locations, you might see some closed roads. So really, it could be a rough go for people right along the immediate coastlines. As far as the big impacts from this, it's going to be flooding, closed roads, and also if you are in one of these landslide prone areas, that is probably my biggest fear coming out of this, in the right side of the storm when it's going to be coming on shore. So for now, definitely we're going to keep you posted on how this storm system develops over the coming days, or basically over the next 24 hours. I mean, this has really picked up speed once it got interacted with that jet stream. I know at first we were expecting it to make landfall on Friday, and then it was Thursday. Now it does look like by Wednesday late morning, so it is going fast, bringing a lot of moisture with it. I think tomorrow, hopefully, we get some video. I'm going to be on NHK World, so do check that out. I'm on there every day, Monday through Friday, about 20 minutes after the hour in the mornings, Japan time. So yeah, please do stop by. All right, guys, stay safe out there.